Good afternoon, class. My name is Mrs. Donraj, as you know, and today I'm going to be doing a lesson with you that will be focused on improving three things: our ability to read words, our ability to spell words, and our ability to understand the meanings of the words. And this will help us to be better readers and better writers. So today we'll be looking at the patterns in the words, we'll be looking at the definitions of words, and we're going to be doing some centers activities. It's going to be really fun. But before we start, let's review our three agreements that we always use when we work together as a group. Okay, so who can tell me what the agreement is that goes with this image? Okay, Joseph, thank you. Yep, share the mic, exactly. And in your own words, what does it mean to share the mic? Oh yeah, take turns talking, awesome. And what does this image represent for our second agreement for teamwork? And Natalie, thank you. Yes, exactly, say nice things. And what's an example of saying a nice thing? Yeah, or even, let's say you get done first in your center work. Instead of saying, I got done first, I'm the best, you could say, hey, I just finished and you're almost finished, you're working so hard, we are awesome, right? So phrasing it in a positive way for both of you. And lastly, what does this represent? Flip it around. Edward, awesome, 100%, meaning do your best. And we always have our three agreements posted, right? And this is a lesson that is created for a group of 12 kids. And normally I would have my stuff posted larger. Unfortunately, I've modified this lesson for the home. Just a little different. So, share the mic, say nice things, do your best. Awesome. Great, guys. Now, let's do our check-in. So at this part of the lesson, students break up and in groups of 4. So 3 groups of 4, and each student gets 30 seconds to check in. So reminder, we do a check-in so that students have a chance to get to know each other a little bit better. They can check in and share about anything they want as long as it's school appropriate. And the purpose of the check-in, beyond building our relationships, is to allow students to get something off their chest before we begin our work so they can focus. So if you're feeling excited about something or if you're feeling sad about something, this is your chance to talk about it with your peers so that when we get to our learning, you are able to focus on what we're doing. So go ahead, let's do our check-in. I set the timer every 30 seconds. I'll tell you to change. Remember our 3 agreements that we need to use. Each person has 30 seconds to talk, and make sure you're not interrupting your peers during the check-in. And go. So now let's pretend each it's been 30 seconds, we've transitioned. All right, let's come back to the large group. So, today, I will give you a list of 5 words. These words were pulled from our history class, math, and the book we're reading in our English Language Arts class. You're going to sit into centers 1, 2, and 3, but before you go to a center, you have to decide which word you're going to focus on. You're going to pick the word that's most interesting to you, because at the end, after you have worked in your center to research your word, you've done your worksheets, that's something you do by yourself, then you're going to get together with a group of students and make a poster. Everyone in your group is going to be other kids who chose the same word. So you're going to make a poster. Here's my example of my poster, where you are going to have all of the information that your group found compiled together. You're going to present that as a group to the class. Then you do an art piece about the word. So you get to do a play, a poem, a song, or you could even do a visual artwork like a drawing or a collage with our magazines that we have here, stacked here. So before we begin our centers, I'm going to give you an example of the work you're going to be doing at your centers. I'm going to be using a different word because I don't want to give you any answers. The word impel. Okay, so center 1 is the center where we focus on the spelling patterns. And the first thing I want you to look at is how many suffixes or how many syllables there are in the word. So this word has how many syllables? The word is impel. Daniel. 2, thank you. And how do we break it up? Impel. So we create a word sum. We write each syllable with an addition sign between. And you're going to now look at the spelling patterns. At your center, there is a syllable types chart of the 6 syllable types found in the English language. Who can tell me, since we've been focusing on closed syllables and bossy E syllables, do you see a closed syllable, bossy E syllable in this word? Yes, exactly. We see the closed syllable types. Impel. And we know that it's closed because what kind of vowel do we see in the first syllable? Im. Yes, Edan, this is a short vowel, right? And pel, is this short or long? Short. And how do we know it's short? Because it's not saying its name. Very good. And the vowel is short because, as we've discussed, it's closed in by a consonant that clips the sound. Awesome. So, impel is a word made up of the closed syllable pattern. Now, you're going to also look up, we have lists of the tables of common prefixes and suffixes. You're going to look up your word parts to see if any of the parts are a prefix or a suffix. Turns out that pel is a suffix, and it means drive. Im is a prefix. It means not. So, interestingly, the word impel has no root word. Okay? If you notice that part of your word is not a prefix or a suffix, then you can assume it is a root. If you're not sure, though, check with me, because there are a few exceptions where the word has no root. Okay, so for my word, I found that we have a prefix, we have a suffix. I found the meanings by looking on the prefix suffix list. I found that this is 2 syllables. Closed, both closed. And now I get to go to my next center. You have 7 minutes at each center. The next center is the definition. So the definition of impel is to drive or cause to move onward, or to propel. So I would think that im would mean like yes, right? Or to do something. Because it would mean to drive forward. But sometimes the prefix that is added to a word actually means the opposite of what the word means. And this is one of those cases because it means not. Im means not drive, right? So to not drive, which is really funny because the definition is actually to drive or move forward, right? And we can think of other words if we're like, really? Are we sure? But important are impatient, right? We say, oh, the word impatient, being patient means, oh, you're able to wait for things without getting stressed or anxious, or without getting angry. Hey, I'm waiting on this for so long. But impatient means you are not able to wait. Okay, so we can see that in some cases, im actually does make sense in terms of what the prefix itself actually means. Okay. So, after you find the definition, the last center, you're going to go on to etymology.com. You're going to find out about the history of the word. I'm going to fast forward through this part, but you're going to be writing down the history on your poster, which my word is from early 15th century Latin, from the word impellere. And then we're going to do your presentation with your group of your poster and your performance. So my performance is a song, and I will grab my song